like to thank ISB Connect for inviting me to chair this panel. Manufacturing is an integral part of any economy, particularly Indian economy. And it's a very important topic. So, for this track, we have 4 speakers, apart from myself. And I will introduce them a bit later. But the title of this panel is Manufacturing for the Next 800 Million. Challenges, Opportunities, and Challenges. I think I just was playing on this word, the next 800 million. So, the way this session is organized is that we'll have 1 hour of presentation and 40 minutes of Q&A. We have 4 panel members. I would like to invite my colleagues onto the stage. Mr. Kunvar Sachdev, Mr. Vineet Agarwal, Mr. Nupendra Rao, and Mr. Ramesh Datta. So before I introduce my colleagues, I thought I have a small presentation to make on what I feel is manufacturing for the next 800. Well, it's okay now? Okay. So, what you have there is the agri supply chain. You have the OEM there sitting with his bullock cart, and you have the transportation system for the agri supply chain, and you have the distribution center, and you have the retail. And this shows you the kind of 800 million, particularly in the agriculture sector, what is made of. And so the agri business forms a big chunk of the 800 million. So where do these 800 million live? They live both in rural and urban areas, and they have less than 7th standard education, less than $2 per day income, and they're employed mostly in the unorganized sector, in agriculture, small-scale industries, and so on. You can hear right from 1952 onwards that eradication of poverty, education for all, these kind of rhetoric slogans. Every planning commission, and currently the 11th planning commission is getting operational. Every planning commission has this first or second paras that are copied from here. So I think it is time, only strategy, plans, execution, and delivery. What are those? I think that's the time for people. But, there are 2 ways of generating these jobs for these people. Either self-employed or organization, people move to jobs, or jobs move to people. And innovations in this particular sector need not have to be new to the world, but new to India. And most of the innovations that we're going to describe are new to India kind of things. And what about the competition? Once you talk of manufacturing, the competition comes in. Previously, people used to say the competition is between manufacturing and manufacturing, and now it is between supply chain and supply chain. But I feel the competition is between company ecosystem versus company ecosystem. This is particularly true for the 800 million. And if you're talking of national, this one, it is national ecosystem risk. reference to the national ecosystem. I'll show what this means in the next slide. One thing that people have to, this one, I mean, economists always tell you that there is the agriculture, manufacturing and service, and one moves from agriculture to manufacturing, manufacturing to service, and India is a service-oriented economy and this kind of thing. I mean, this is kind of nonsense, because agriculture, manufacturing and services are all intertwined. You take agriculture, retail, which actually services the agribusiness is the service industry. Logistics transfers the produce from the farm to the retail house is the service industry. So you can see, and also all the tractors, all the agri equipment are manufactured by the manufacturing. Food processing it is manufacturing. So one should realize that the manufacturing and services agri are all intertwined, and they are not exactly independent of each other. Now, just to give you an idea, this is the kind of ecosystem one is talking about. You cannot talk of any industry in isolation. It is companies, governments, employees, talent, connections, knowledge, landscape, and climate. In these days of green, you have to combine all this and have a company ecosystem. And India has a tremendous opportunity in terms of manufacturing and distribution being green. And we need not have to end up like other countries like China, where there are tremendous amount of pollution and other kinds of things. Well, if you look at the food supply chain and benchmark that against various kinds of things, you have tremendous amount of resources. 51% of land is cultivable, you have 11 of the seasons, and you have live rivers, you have human workforce and all that. But your resource management is lousy, and your supply chain has too many intermediaries. Your product offering, there is no product, food processing, information technology, no supply chain visibility, IT is not used at all, logistics has no portrait, and trade-offs, the import duties are high, and so on. So one looks at, if you want to improve the manufacturing, you have to look at the entire picture, the government, the companies, your neighbors, the regulations, and the services like logistics, IT, and so on. So, in that, given that particular case, what is the kind of markets that you should give? I mean, I'm going to give you a few examples of innovations for the youngsters who want to start companies. How do you want to estimate your market size? Supposing you are in food manufacturing. One thing is to say, I am making orange juice packets, or for middle class is 300 million, so half of them, my product, I have 100 million. Another way of estimating the market is how many people will buy the orange juice packets if it is that cheap as coffee or tea on the roadside stall. 5 rupees. Can you estimate the market? 1 million per week at least. Because from children to old people can have this particular orange juice, and you have tremendous amount of